Good morning, it is Saturday, April 17th, the 17th day of April. This is what that means. It's the 16th day of me vlogging every day in April, and I can't believe I haven't missed a day since that first one. So as soon as Vlog Every Day in April is over, on May 1st, I have a thing that I'm doing. It's a thing in Missoula. It's called the Missoula Barcamp, and it's when a bunch of people in Missoula get together and we talk about Missoula and technology and stuff like that. And it's nice because I live in a place where there's not a ton of people who are deep into information technology and new media the way that I am. And so the idea is we all get together and we talk about how new media and IT and open source software and all of these buzz topics for the information revolution. We get together and we talk about that stuff. And they asked me to give a very short 5-minute talk to sort of start it out along with a few other people, including I think the mayor of Missoula and the founder of one of the really big businesses in town. So the idea being I get to spark some kind of ideas in the heads for discussion later on. And I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to talk about, because this is a hard thing. Being interesting is a hard thing. It's easier on the video camera because I get to try everything 7 times. So like if I had to burp during an actual speech, I would have had to hold it in the whole time, and because I was doing it in a video, I could burp and then I could cut it out. I didn't cut it out just as an illustration though, for illustrative purposes. So I'm a little bit nervous, and I want to think about the kind of stuff that I want to talk about. And there are a few things. One is the idea that those of us on the cutting edge of this stuff have a responsibility, if we care about the places where we live, to try and bring people to those places, to try and make those places active in those ways, and try and bring jobs to the area and try and create jobs in the area and when you're doing things, have it be focused on the local community and not just on the internet, because those of us who work on the internet, we have a tendency to kind of ignore where we live as an important thing. I certainly have that problem, and it's something that I feel a little bit guilty about. The things that I do employ several people. None of those people are in Missoula, except maybe if you count Catherine, because she does a lot of work for EcoGeek. That's an interesting topic. I don't know that it's going to be as interesting or interesting enough for this particular crowd, but it's something that I'm very curious about personally. Like, I love online communities, obviously. That is unarguable. But what happens when your sense of place transfers into the virtual space and you don't have a sense of place in the real world, where you don't have roots that go any deeper than surface level in your real world environment? You can just pick up and go wherever you want, whenever you want, because a lot, or maybe even most, of the business relationships that people like me have are on the internet, and many of the personal relationships that I have are on the internet. That raises interesting questions for what community is going to mean in the future. It also raises interesting questions for how to raise money for community-based nonprofit organizations, and it raises questions about what being a good citizen is. Is it only about being a good nerd fighter, which I'm all for, or is it also about being a good Missoulian and a good Montanan and a good intermountain Westerner? That is an interesting topic, but I don't think it's going to be a particularly interesting topic for that crowd. They probably don't have that particular crisis of identity that I have. Nonetheless, I think that it's curious, and I'm curious to see what y'all think about that particular issue. So please, if you have thoughts on the conflict of identity between the virtual community and the actual community, and what that means for being a good citizen of those different communities, I'm looking forward to having that discussion in the comments below. I'll see you all tomorrow.